Hi, loves. I am reaching out to you to let you know that I have published a book. I actually published it in April of 2019, so it's 1 years old at this point. It's called Library of Small Catastrophes. It's a collection of poetry that was published with Copper Canyon Press. Here's the back. And because of the current coronavirus pandemic, I am not able to go on tour to continue to do readings for the rest of this academic year. April is National Poetry Month, which is a huge month for touring and doing gigs in communities, at schools, at public libraries, and we're not able to gather right now. So I thought that I would make a video to merge some of my YouTube followers and community with my poetry followers and community. So to have both of those communities be fed and nourished online, because we have to use virtual platforms now, but also because I never made a video to really demonstrate or show the finished product, or that I was a writer at all. Um, and so this book really speaks to a lot of the traumas and pain that I have endured to get to this point, and reflects on what the body, what our minds absorb and hold on to, sometimes on a cellular level, sometimes on a mental level, and how our lives are collections or storage containers or vessels or bookshelves full of our experiences. And some of those experiences are positive and some of them are negative, but they're all comprising or making up who we are. And so I wanted to read two poems to you, one from the book and one that was recently published in Poetry Magazine, so it's available online for free, because I had someone reach out to me on Instagram, and they said that they had read the particular poem I'm going to read that was published in Poetry Magazine, and that they found it just heart-achingly beautiful. And they read it and kept reading it and kept reading it, and they wanted to purchase the book, and they wanted to reach out to me. They were so happy to see that I was on Instagram because it really resonated with them. And there are three things that I wanted to convey in this particular video that make up who I am, that for many years I had to overcome a certain amount of guilt and shame surrounding. I am not perfect. I don't think I've ever espoused to be perfect, but so one of those, and one of the factors that impacts this book, is the fact that I was married and I got divorced. I got married very young. It was an abusive, almost entirely unhealthy relationship, and so I got divorced. And I went to Catholic school my entire life, from kindergarten to 12th grade, before going away to college. And so a large part of my sensibility or my worldview was, I want to get married, I wanted to become a doctor, have a PhD, teach, write, have three kids, have the picket fence, have a little Yorkie or some small type dog or husky dog, and have this incredible, beautiful, heteronormative, straightforward, perfect life. And before I turned even 30, all of the things that I had aspired to do or were hoping to do that were going to solidify who I was, all crumbled. So I dropped out of my PhD program. I left my program. I got married and divorced. The second thing that I address in the book is I terminated a pregnancy for my own safety and the safety of what would have been perhaps my child, which was a heart wrenching decision to have to make. Really went against all of my values or beliefs or thoughts surrounding my desire to be a mother, but I needed to do for my own safety. And so that was another trauma or catastrophe, so to speak, that contributes to the book, and why I really took a break from YouTube, why I really took a break from all social media. I'm already not particularly a hyper sharing person, so kind of went into solitude, went into time to heal, to grow, to learn, to go to therapy, to read, to better myself. So I was coming from a place of wholeness, and from a place of empowerment, which is what I always try to speak and share and give from that place. And then the third term, or the third thing that's not really addressed in this book, but will be in my next collection of poetry, is the fact that I am queer, and so my desire and and intimacy is not necessarily solely shaped in terms of a heterosexual relationship, meaning a cisgendered man with a cisgendered woman. And so I have attraction and desire for people, and it is not as neat necessarily as a man and a woman. And so yeah, it took a long time to get to a place of standing in that truth and all of those truths, and standing in them publicly, and having the courage and the bravery and the self esteem and the resolution within myself, to know that that is who I am, and I stand and affirm that truth, and it doesn't compromise my notions for myself in terms of my spirituality, my relationship with God, my relationship with other human beings. And so I'm just going to read these two poems, and also because I know there are many people that are in quarantine or social distancing situations in which they're actually unsafe. Many people that don't have a place to go. Many people that are in relationships or marriages or living situations in which um, they are subjected to intimate partner violence, or have a situation in which they are at risk by actually staying inside of a home or not having access to a workplace or places to go to get away from another person in a domestic situation that may be harming them. And so I just want to extend that I see you, I hear you. If we could try to pool our resources, our energy, our love, our support, financially, mentally, spiritually, energy wise, etc., and acknowledge that there are those people that are in situations that are not safe in their own homes, um, and to share my own story. I'm more than happy to continue making more videos, reading poems, etc. The book is available on Amazon, online booksellers. Please try to support small and local businesses. Request it at your public library if you're able to go to the public library. But this is my baby. It's my child in a sense. It's something that I put a lot of energy and hard work and diligence in, and that I clutch as, in some ways, a holy book for me. And I hope it continues to circulate and spread in a way that people find it moving and connecting. And I've signed in many books for people that I hope these poems find a home in people's hands and people's hearts. And that's truly what I would like. Um, on the back side of the book, I wrote, every time I would read someplace, I would write the location, um, the venue, what the event was. And so this is what I've done since the book came out last April. And now it's virtual. So um, it's been really amazing and incredible to share with people. One of my favorite readings was at a federal prison. And at that reading, one of the men inside wrote me this really kind letter. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. It's been great to share with people, and I hope that you all enjoy these poems. So the first poem I'm going to read is called Shinto for Not Quite Love. This is on page 61 of the book. And did I leave him, or dream I left him? My husband, this man who said, "It is always better than neutral," which is to say, I'm sorry to have to love you this way. It took me 30 years to say I lost my own name in the shower. Brief and miraculous as the bees, bats maybe, or owls, boxy, mottled things. I married years before I carried within me sequins, sheet music, painkillers, any birds, flowers, people, words. If ever two were one, then surely we. They call it sacrifice. Imagine me, a tiny poppy, afraid of my clumsy body, that impossible wait, the not quite love. But I stayed silent because you were smiling and because I'm never happy. You were a collection of any shape against a window, of the intentions I only half believed at the time. Say, I am a professor from the University of Stupidity. I think from this distance, the goldfish of my genius hates you. I want to go in the backyard now. I bet there are forests out there. Tell me, is pain the garden's only plan? My face is covered in fruit flies, too many bugs, and I want a divorce. I practice the work of worms. I am that woman knitted into place. I was accustomed to being sown with moon-caked madness. I've been pregnant. I've had sex with a man who exposed the hairy, buff eggs of a girl gazing at the moon. There is a baby in my blood. I love and yet am forced to seem to hate. I can't stand myself, and so my love is awkward and ill-timed. This is my gift, being missed, the horses dressed in hooks. My body is a gift to climb in. I'd swim the sea, water waving forever, fresh as stars. We don't just forget the words for love. We soak teeth. We try, not trying for a while. I have been woman as other creatures that have eyes, because I see, I am what I have seen. We used to lie, eye to eye, breathing together, close to the nights by the light of whatever would burn. This is how it is with love. Cruelty comes easy for some. To withhold love, there too must be machines. Say the heart is an ungodly machine. Shed the machine. Cherries hemorrhage in their bowl. My own toothbrush. My black wig on the chair. I never meant it will hurt like a clue. What is a home? A guarded space? Domestication? Sit in me and ask me where I have been, and my body answers beneath that slow setting sun. This lust is not heterosexual, and this is not a confessional pressed like stubborn flowers. It's not a goodbye fuck, because no one knew I break things. There is no homonym for disappearing, only the last of this blood, the instance of our parting, nothing but craggy skeletons of a winter. The next poem I'm going to read was in the February issue of Poetry Magazine's publication, and I'll put the link in the description below. It's probably not going to show up well. And it's called At Least a Dozen Bluets. And if you aren't able to purchase the book or don't want to, you can read this poem for free online at Poetry's website. At least a dozen bluets. I, the telltale animal, rest my throat against the snare of you. Offer my howl to the black-eyed Susan in free will. One fistful of yellow stubbing the chin of Never Neverland. We try our best to out the devil, to trace his foul-mouthed lips that outline why we desire what we loathe. It was your personhood that made me lose hope, that prison system of a language. I keep a payphone in my living room for you. It rings when I touch myself, the nostalgic purpose of ill will. I am a marked woman now, nape backlit with you in shades of blue, suffering the robe pity slips off at dusk. I will always give you credit for such undressing. No, a form of never clings like stringy meat to peach pit. I have yet to love a man who has not strangled me to death, has not tried to muzzle want upon waking. If startled, I shout out the names of gods or unborn babes, a once upon a time of denials. I count black sheep and wait for the sound of your touch. These numbers are a nervous system.